Hello and welcome to Drier Days Art Studio. I'm Catherine and I'm so happy to have you here today. I'm going to be working on these geode coasters in this video. This is a brand new product from Just For You Online UK. They're geode silicone molds. They came out with a couple new ones. And I'm going to be using a different resin for me today. I'm going to be using the Pebeo crystal resin. It's a 2-part resin, but it's a 2-to-1 ratio, which I've never used before. So it's a little nervous, but also excited. Here you can see the resin. So the resin comes in a larger container, and that's because you use 2 parts of that to 1 part of the hardener. And I did mix it again for about 3 minutes. It's very, very clear. There were hardly any bubbles. I'm just showing here too that I'm going to use the Rebel White Ignition Dust as well as the Baby Pink pigment from Just For You Online UK and these Rainbow White Glitter Flakes. I also have some little pieces of the fire glass that I've been using in the last few of my videos. I really like that fire glass. You end up not seeing it very well in the finished product, but you'll see how it pans out. And I'm just showing here what you get in this kit from Pebeo. They send you with a pair of gloves, a couple of mixing sticks, and then these little measuring cups here. I was going to be using a little bit more than these little cups would allow, so I am actually going to be using a disposable cup. It's a brand that I really like. I include them in the description of all my videos. If you need any of the tools or products in this video, you can check out the video's description for all of that. I'm just checking here to see how much resin I think I'm going to need for these 2 geodes. They are smaller in size and depth than some of Just For You Online UK's other molds. And their other molds, they're usually about 1 centimeter deep, and I would say these are probably about half that depth. There are the molds right there. I do have them on a 12-inch round that I have covered in parchment paper, and that is just in case I get any drips. My molds won't stick to the surface that I'm pouring on. I have my resin all mixed here. I was really interested in trying this resin. I couldn't find a whole lot of videos on YouTube or elsewhere about mixing, and the box, the instructions are all in, there's a bunch of different instructions, but they're all in different languages. In this, I believe I did 9 ounces total because I wanted to pour in another mold. So what I did was 6 ounces of the resin to 3 ounces of the hardener. I'm adding just a little bit of a clear coat to the bottom here of each mold. All of the Just For You Online UK products you can find in my store, www.drierdaysartstudio.com, including these molds. The White Ignition Dust has been a huge seller. A lot of people have been buying that, really enjoying that product. You can see in the finished product of these, when they're all done, how much sparkle you get out of that ignition dust. And the Baby Pink pigment is one of my favorite pigments by Just For You Online UK, and you can find that in my store as well. I'm working on a resin coaster e-course that you can bundle with my beginner's course that I came out with. If you're interested in my e-course, I will link that in the description as well. But just know that I am working on a course for coasters that will also feature that resin starter kit by Just For You Online UK, like my beginner's course features. I really like these silicone mixing sticks. They are actually a kitchen set of spatulas and tools that are silicone, but I love using them because when I'm done I can just take a baby wipe and wipe them off and I can use them again, so I'm not going through a bunch of paint sticks or larger sticks. And I can just tell already there's hardly any bubbles in this resin. It's crystal clear. It does take a little bit longer to harden up. One thing I did read somewhere was it'll take about 12 hours for it to be firm, and after 24 hours, it'll be hard. And I definitely did notice that. I did these at night. I want to say I was working on these about 9 p.m. And I came down about 8 a.m. the next morning and went to pick them up, and they still felt really, like, they did not feel hard, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. And then I was nervous that I hadn't mixed it properly, and I thought, okay, just put them down. This takes a little longer to harden up. It'll be okay. And it did end up being okay. Adding my fire glass. These got lost a little bit in this coaster mold creation, but in another set that I did using the rhombus molds, if you head on over to my Instagram, I'm going to put up pictures. You can see the fire glass that I had crushed up came up beautifully, and it looks like ice fractals in the coaster. This fire glass is by Celestial Fire Glass, which you can find on Instagram. I've been really happy with their products. I will link them in the description below if you want to check them out. And now using my rainbow white glitter flakes, I will come around this little section of the fire glass and lay those down. Here is that baby pink pigment by Just For You Online UK. Oh, I love it. I also had no idea about my working time with this resin, but because it does take a longer time to set up and get hard, I would say you have a while. I mean, I only worked on these coasters for maybe like 20 minutes, but I would think you could probably get at least 40 to 45 minutes out of this resin. This is just clear resin mixed with that ignition dust. And I'm using that around the perimeter of the flakes. I do end up using silver pigment by Just For You Online UK in this piece as well. And that is right here. Really love their silver pigment. It's a nice, it's not even, I mean, it's like a really, really light silver, like white almost. But more transparent, not a opaque white. And the baby pink. If you are a subscriber and viewer of my videos, you know that I really like to have boundaries set up with my epoxy sculpt, and obviously with molds, you can't do that, and the resin can sort of have a mind of its own depending on how thin it is. And that's kind of the beauty of this art form and what has kept me with it for so long. Any sort of fluid acrylic work, fluid art, or resin work, the resin, the fluidness of the piece can sort of take over and do its own thing. There's a little bit of letting go and trusting, and as I like to say, believing in your art. These definitely turned out a little bit differently than the vision I had in my mind, but I still think that they're beautiful, and I'm so happy with how they turned out, and being able to sort of let go of the outcome has helped me so much in the development of my art. As I mentioned, there were almost no bubbles in this resin at all. It was crystal clear, and you really do not want to hit these molds with any high heat. Even the low heat is dicey because you could singe your mold. This is any kind of mold, not just these, and then your resin will stick to your mold and you'll ruin your molds. So I am just using a hair dryer to move the pigments around a little bit on a very, very low heat. It was almost just like cool room temperature air, just to move it around a little bit. And now I'm going to pick these up and set them aside. That's the nice thing about having them on that round, is I can then pick that up and move it and do other work on my work table now without really affecting the resin in those molds, like what would have happened if I just picked them up with my hands and moved them. I apologize, this is a little darker. I was using a different camera to do the demolding. As you may notice, I still have my gloves on to demold these because I don't want any of the oils from my hand to get on the molds, as I may need to do another clear coat, which I did not do in this case because they came out perfectly. And I will mention this is about 30 hours, 32 hours after my initial pour. It did take 24 hours for these to harden up. And there it is. There were virtually no bubbles at all. It cured wonderfully. That Pebeo crystal resin was awesome. Very, very happy with it. And I'll demold the other one here. Somehow something got in this coaster. I don't know where. I don't know if you guys noticed it in the video and I just missed it, but it's almost like a staple or something got in this one. You can see it. A staple right there. See, I'm kind of looking at it like, what is that? I have no idea how it got in there, but you can't really see it. It kind of blends in with everything, but just really odd. Here the lighting's a little better. This is right after I took them out. That's the back. Some of those flakes did float, which was kind of interesting. I haven't seen that happen in a whole lot of them before. I decided these coasters still needed something and I wanted to finish the edges, so I used the silver metallic marker that I got at Michael's. And these dry really nicely to these coasters and also to any of your resin artwork pieces, and I find that I really don't need to do another top coat over it. The silver, the metallic, once it's down, it really doesn't move. And I just wanted to show you again real quick the products I used. The silver pigment is not featured here, but I did use that silver pigment by Just For You Online UK as well. I love these geode molds. I think they're just adorable, and you could make a set of 4. I think these would look really cute for like a wedding, as like a gift to send home with people, have it down at their place setting. They're just really, really neat. They're unique. I just wanted to show this in the sunlight again with that ignition dust. I mean, look at that sparkle. It all blends really nicely with the colors used in there, that silver and the pink pigment. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to check out these molds and the other ones by Just For You Online UK, please check out my store, www.dryerdaysartstudio.com. Come check me out on Instagram at dryerdays. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, everybody, keep on pouring.